This is my story, from $1,000 to $8 million in like 6 years or something.
If you've ever scoured through YouTube looking for videos on financial advice, there's a big chance you've seen a video by Sebastian Ghiorghiu. Sebastian is a self-made millionaire who's been generating some waves for having made his success in the dropshipping community and the YouTube's finance niche. He literally hustled his way to the top and now casually buys 200k Lamborghinis like it's nothing. His incredible story is filled with lots of intriguing details most people aren't aware of, so let's take a look at how Sebastian went from the ground up to now having net worth in the millions, and let's also take a look at how he lavishly spends his money.
And the journey from where I started to where I am now was an incredible journey, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about it.
Sebastian was born in Arizona shortly after his parents migrated from Romania. His parents met and married when his father was just 21 years old, and unlike many young millionaires, he didn't have a trust fund or any form of financial spring tool from anyone. He grew up with his mum, who worked a job that didn't exactly get their bills paid.
And I remember I couldn't even afford, when I went out with my friends, my mom couldn't give me money and I couldn't buy food, and they just looked at me weird.
And that's what kind of sparked the burning will in Sebastian to be the hero that turned their lives around. He even initially wanted to be a surgeon because they made the big bucks. But luckily he didn't go down that route, as we probably wouldn't be here talking about him today if he had done that.
So from a very young age, I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to make a lot of money. That's when it started. That's where it came from.
And although Sebastian is currently just 24 years old, he's had a lot of jobs before he eventually hit the jackpot. And I do mean lots of jobs, like from selling tacos to working at the car shop, where his physique was a welcome eye candy for some of the patrons. Crazy, right? Well, he made a lot of sales doing that, and it landed him his first car, and his first real taste of attention from his pals. This little taste of fame served to only fuel Sebastian's ideals to become rich, and so he started flipping cars, including his own ride, for a profit. All of this came before he discovered the world of dropshipping that would come to become the foundation for his current millions. Early business ventures, start of dropshipping. While studying in community college, Sebastian began dropshipping, and just for a little moment of his first week things looked bleak and he didn't make any money, but he had a plan, and he knew from the outset that the most successful products are usually the most boring ones. So he began selling paper, which is something durable and functional, and he had surprising success at it, so much so that in the second week of his dropshipping business he made a tidy profit of about $700. Now, if this sounds crazy and unbelievable, then leave a like and comment below on something random you think you could sell by dropshipping that nobody's thinking of. Of course, that was only the start for Sebastian, and things kept going up from there. He literally owned the dropshipping game so hard that he decided to start coaching others through an online course he created called Ecom Alphas. Although he had some help and created it along with the help of Matthew Bollis, an Instagram influencer with millions of followers. Before then, several people had previously been skeptical about the legitimacy of Sebastian's dropshipping experience, but in the course, he comprehensively covered everything from how to create a store to marketing through social media. The course cost $797, and it's sort of in high demand by his followers, who are trying to replicate his success in the field. YouTube venture and assets. Moving on from just dropshipping to how else Sebastian makes his money, and that's his YouTube channel, which he launched back in 2017. He's since built a YouTube channel fanbase with close to 900,000 subscribers. His most popular videos involved sharing tips on how to make money quickly, stay productive, and become a top 1% earner at an early age. He also has a video about the experiences I mentioned earlier, named How I Made $700 in One Day in the Second Week at 18, in which he shared his strategies for growing his Shopify account. Since then, he's primarily focused on creating content related to online businesses, covering a variety of topics such as YouTube, dropshipping, eBay, Shopify, and other ventures that he shares with his audience. In 2021, Sebastian expanded his business portfolio by establishing a Google Ads marketing agency, which he developed and later discussed in another video on his channel. However, his rise to fame hasn't been without some controversy, as Sebastian has recently caused a stir online after claiming that earning enough money to buy a Lamborghini is so incredibly easy. In a podcast clip, he expressed his view that $200,000 is chump change, and that if a guy in his 20s doesn't have a Lamborghini, he should sit down and have a serious discussion with himself as to why he doesn't have one. He then went on to state that there is so much money out there, and $200,000 is insignificant compared to what is available in circulation, especially with the aid of artificial intelligence tools that people can leverage now. This video subsequently went viral on Twitter and TikTok, with many netizens ridiculing Sebastian's views and some even suggesting that Sebastian is out of touch with reality. Others suggesting that perhaps he made up his background, as being born into a wealthy family is probably the reason why he feels this way, as they're unwilling to believe he comes from a poor story, just because he said so without proof. In a longer clip of the podcast, posted on TikTok, he doubled down on his claims, saying that $200,000 is literally pocket change, and that people who disagree with him can suck it. In some people's opinions, for someone with a net worth in the millions and still counting, it's understandable why he feels $200,000 is chump change. I mean, he literally has 2 Lambos. Are they necessary? Perhaps not, but he does have it. And whilst there's been no official vetting of his garage, Sebastian's not shy, and he often makes posts of his rides on Instagram. These posts have featured a black and white 2023 Lamborghini Urus SUV, which is practically a supercar with an SUV shell, carrying a starting price tag of at least $234,000. Also featured on his Instagram are other less expensive sports cars like the 2023 Porsche 911 with a starting price of $106,000, a 2023 Audi R8 which could be between $158,000 to $210,000, and last but not least, a Nissan GT-R which he makes sure to express his profound love for and costs about an estimated starting price of $117,000. Other ventures, real estate. At some point, Sebastian revealed that he had a lull in his dropshipping business, so he decided to spend time working by himself and focusing on ways to grow his wealth. During this time, he bought a house in Scottsdale, Arizona for $309,000 and renovated it with the help of his brother and other individuals. 3 months later, he sold the house for $415,000, which is quite a significant profit. He then invested the profits from the sale of the house into land in a high-end neighborhood in Arizona, intending to build his own custom home. And although the process of obtaining permits and building a house could get a little expensive, Sebastian is confident that the finished product will be worth at least $2.5 million. He has plans of expanding his real estate business model and perhaps eventually build a skyscraper to call his own. He also has plans to scale up his Google Ads marketing agency, which I mentioned earlier, but currently the agency has been estimated to be worth about $2 million. Finally, Sebastian also dabbles in trading cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and smaller altcoins. He's come out to acknowledge that trading cryptocurrencies are essentially like high-stakes gambling, but he's been able to turn his initial investment of $60,000 into around $400,000. And although he has experienced losses along the way, he still continues to trade and somehow always manages to come out ahead overall. So with all of his assets combined, including his real estate holdings, his agency, and his cryptocurrency investments, Sebastian's net worth is estimated to be nearly $8 million, and he probably has smaller assets that he doesn't disclose. Now, it's totally easy to see why he believes owning a couple of Lambos isn't a big deal. Since you watched the entire video, this next one will blow your mind. Are you ready?